And in the meantime...
God, that cyclist is gonna hate you.
Hello folks, welcome back to FastR. We're at Kaaimans International once again. I'm with my great mate Johnny May, and we're answering the question that nobody asked, which is, what do you buy if you're a successful Russian oligarch, you have a lot of money to spend, or you're perhaps under-endowed in areas where it matters? You would expect, wouldn't you, something like this to have a diesel engine. This doesn't, this is a petrol engine. It sounds sublime. We'll play it for you later. It's a great song. This is quite an extreme conversion, is it? They take a G Wagon, very cool. It's not to everyone's taste, this car. I personally love it. It's also very big. But talk me through the body mods on this, Johnny, because it has many.
So the W463, which is the basis of this, which has been running since 1990, so good 31 years, nearly 32 years. They did the 6x6, which had portal axles, which we'll go into a bit more depth on. But they took the tech off the 6x6 and then put it into the new chassis on the W463.
You've also got these crazy, I mean, it's a big lift this, isn't it? You can see under here, you've got these two remote reservoir shock absorbers on each corner. You've got this fabulous, this is all real carbon fibre, you can see this is not the lookalike stuff. Carbon fibre arch extensions, the bigger bumpers, all this lovely body stuff.
But that's all carbon fibre and then half painted, so it may look like a carbon fibre like strip, but it's all one piece, isn't it?
It is.
And
these are nice, these are dummy vents, but real carbon. This takes me back, so back in the day, kids, what we used to do, we'd get either a Ferrari F50 vent, wasn't it?
Yes.
Either a Nissan GTIR vent, and you'd
Celica
stick it
GT4
in the middle of your bonnet. And this is basically what Brabus have done. Brabus have done a very cool version of the GTIR vent for the G Wagon. I think it really works.
It's a very blingy bonnet vent. That is not a bonnet vent.
But you've got to ask the question, if you're buying one of these, would you rather have the AMG version or the Brabus version? But what's interesting about AMG is AMG were obviously an aftermarket tuning company that used to specialise in tuning.
Yes, they were, yeah.
That were bought in-house. And Brabus was, and is, still exactly that, isn't it? So Brabus, I think, is a bit cooler, because this is naughty. So this is an aftermarket tuner that's kind of smiled on by the factory, because the factory know this is going on. And you have to admit, this sells a lot of G-Wagons, doesn't it?
Yeah, so this has got a power upgrade kit, so it will go from 416 brake horsepower up to 500, and then I think the torque's about from 500-600 up to another 100 on top again.
Not that it matters what MPG do you get out of a G500 squared.
This is not about some expensive, politically correct green act of bunny hugging or blah blah blah.
No one knows.
No one knows, no one cares.
If you can afford it, these are not the questions that you ask, I don't think. But we shouldn't have a look inside. In fact, we should have a look at the engine, is what we should do. Whoa. So that's a bit more exciting, isn't it? Well, that's quite tall.
Can you describe it to me?
I'll describe it to you.
I can't see it.
It's a very beautiful V8 with two twin Brabus inlets on there, and you can see the little turbochargers peeking out from underneath.
Considering the size of the bloody thing, that's quite compact in there, isn't it?
It really is. Well, I just think it's exciting you can still buy stuff like this, because this is almost like your inner 9-year-old looks at a spec of car like this. So how would you make this cooler? You jack it out, you put massive wheels on it, you put 2 shocks per corner, 2 turbochargers, and it would be petrol, not diesel. Because every other big truck's always diesel engine.
Don't forget, so along with the 4-litre V8 twin turbo, we have side exit exhausts.
Yeah.
Which, far cooler.
We should
the
sit
shorter
in.
the pipe, the noisier they are.
Now we should sit in, because normally we talk about the interiors and we kneel down. I don't think we'll need to do that today.
So there's a side step, and then there's an additional step to get yourself on the side step.
You need that one. It's quite funny, because I haven't got one on this side, or don't know how to use it.
Don't have to use it.
Yes, you do.
Rude.
Go on. A 4x4 shouldn't sound that cool, should it?
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's so ostentatious. It is just.
But let's talk about spec. You've got, this was the thing about the G Wagon when it first came out, 3 diffs. Not many vehicles had that. Not many vehicles have that now. That's what gives it this prestigious, easy for me to say, that's what gives it this prodigious off-road performance, is that you can take this thing anywhere.
3 locking diffs.
Yeah. I mean, they were designed, weren't they, to be basically a civilian and military off-road vehicle. They were meant to be put into service with various armies. The Argentinians used them. In fact, we captured one of these in the Falklands War, you know.
Did we?
We did. Made by Stairpush under licence. And just a very cool thing. But how is it that they've managed to go? You think of all the cars that have gone from the late 70s, which is when this was first launched.
Yeah.
And haven't really changed aesthetically that much.
But that's what I'm saying. So the first gen from the, was it 76 when the first gen one came round? To the revision for the W463, which this is based on, which was 1990.
Yeah.
And we're still here today, but it just keeps getting more and more extravagant.
But the market's changing, isn't it? It's like the Range Rover. The Range Rover started as a posh Land Rover, didn't it? And was designed to be something that you could take to farm, take to market, and had a foot in both camps. And this was Mercedes' version of the Range Rover. Slightly upmarket, functional, a little bit austere, the first ones, but something that you could use for both work and pleasure. These don't work anymore, do they? These are not workhorses anymore.
No, but the crazy thing about it, Paul, is it's got air-conditioned heated seats, it's got carbon inlays everywhere, leather dash, just, it's ridiculous. But then it can weigh to a metre.
I know, well this can, blimey, it's about a metre off the ground. What is clever about this vehicle? Let's go back to just the G Wagon concept, because Range Rover really came up with the idea of taking a vehicle. Well, you can argue actually,
they were the pioneers.
well, you could argue it was G Wagon here, but that's a YouTube video for another day, isn't it? So either the Jeep Wagoneer / the Range Rover came up with an idea first that you get something that is functional, off-road, you can drive it across the farm, you can also drive to dinner on a Saturday night, and it's the same vehicle. And they were good off-road and went pretty much anywhere. But I think when the G Wagon came out, the whole brief was take that and then some, because these things will go literally anywhere. Because of these lockable diffs, you've got 3 of them, and there's not many vehicles that have that aren't military. That's why this, to me, is the next level, isn't it? You've got unbelievable comfort. It is ridiculously spec'd in here, and this thing will still go off-road.
It's, yeah, so in terms of level of comfort, the amount of alterations you can do to your seat is just ridiculous. Suede leather and carbon adorned everywhere, lovely stitching.
Very lovely stitching. You know, the thing about these seats is, there's not that much room, is there?
I've always loved the Mercedes headrests.
You can put your headrest up and down.
Yeah.
But there's not much room. So I've got my seat all the way back, look, and I am about 2 inches off the
You need
dashboard.
to lower it then.
I'm all the way down. That's it.
Are you?
Yeah, I've just got very long legs.
You need to be like me then. But you can tell it's an older base vehicle as well.
From the leg room, for starters.
Yeah, but look at the size of the dash. There is no depth to it. You've got an airbag that's going to blow your head off.
It's very short, isn't it? Very close to the windscreen. But they're almost overcompensating for that with the sheer level of luxury in here. Like the stitch work, the leather, the inlay, everything on this dashboard is absolutely beautiful.
But then echo back to the technology for the off-roading side. So the 3 lockable diffs, twin shocks each corner, the portal axles.
Explain those. Just tell everyone what they do.
Yeah, so the normal, your traditional differential, and then the axle would be lower down. Portal axles raise that element of it, and then they come down, they have a gearbox on each individual wheel, so that you get higher ground clearance. So it brings everything up.
You know stuff. And the ground clearance on this car is exceptional, isn't it? This particular one.
Yeah, this particular one's bloody ridiculous. I mean,
and we've driven this, haven't we?
Ground clearance. We parked it. We did go for a ride in it earlier, admittedly, and we parked it next to a Fiesta on purpose, didn't we? And yeah.
But what's really crazy about this, you're driving along on the motorway, aren't you? And actually you're the same height as HGVs, buses, the cab height and the driver position. That's how high you sit in this vehicle, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
It is cool, but I don't think I'm the man for it. I think I'd look like I was driving for my boss. It was a very nasty man. So when they showed this as a concept, there was that much desire from it for clients that they ended up making it, because the profits are actually really healthy on the G Wagon for Mercedes.
I can believe it.
And they do not like to discount them. If you go into a Mercedes dealer and try and get discount, when G63s came out, trying to get one discount was a pain in the derriere for the French viewers.
But we should have a look at the outside of this vehicle because it's insane.
It is.
Let's have a look.
Oh, give us a hand.
Kaaimans estate, which is very lovely. Shall we have a little gentle off-road action?
We shall.
I think we shall. Look how good this thing is. How is this thing so good at everything? It's actually quite nice on-road. It's very good off-road. And it makes the best noise. It sounds like someone stuck an old muscle car motor in a one-day off-road.
It is good.
Oh, look at that. It's amazing.
That's why you need dual shocks.
Are you getting thrown around enough there?
Yeah, I can just feel the sunglasses go dub, dub,
Have you banged your head yet?
No, not yet.
What's mad about this, because the suspension travel you've got, this is ironing out all these little bumps like they're not there. And the way it drives and rides, it's just ridiculous. Bear in mind, we're in a big, quite heavily rutted field. Never mind the 2CV that could take a farmer's eggs to market without breaking a single one. Yeah. So look at this. So why aren't like impoverished farmers buying these? I'm going to put the window down so you can hear that beautiful exhaust note as well, because that's, for me, this is a Brabus, it's like a muscle car engine, isn't it? Sounds like an old 60s Camaro or something, doesn't it? When you think turbo, you take...
Well, they're shorter pipes, aren't they? So you get more noise. You're just turning for the sake of it. You're loving this, aren't you?
I am loving this a lot. Fine. So we've now done some awesome field driving. I'm going to take it on road now. And it's just seamless, isn't it? You literally... And what was mad there, that was some pretty decent off-roading. It didn't need any of the diffs.
Even used, precisely. We've not had to lock the diffs.
All I've done there is...
The ground is quite... It's not damp, but it's... And then onto gravel.
Yeah, and it's absolutely perfect, isn't it? This is the proper little Jekyll and Hyde. This is the Swiss Army knife for vehicles. Any situation you need, the school run, a ploughed field, a gravel track. The drug run. I think you're casting aspersions on the people that might buy this vehicle.
Not at all.
But you know what, can I be totally honest, when I saw this vehicle, I thought it was slightly ostentatious, and I thought it appeals to a certain kind of person that makes a certain kind of statement, shall we say. And actually, having spent an afternoon with it now, and taking it off-road, I've got to say, I think it's actually a bit more three-dimensional than that, don't you?
It's very multi-purpose, let's put it that way.
Right, empty road, 60 mile an hour limit. Ready. It's the kick-down noise. Then you can tell it's a Brabus, can't you?
You know, there is something a little bit more about a Brabus over the AMG though, isn't there?
Well, I just think that because it's, I don't know why, I think AMG, because obviously it is now the official arm of Mercedes, it's almost just something naughty about aftermarket tuning, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean...
Especially when it's done to this standard and to this level, it's, to me, something very, very special indeed. And actually this is a conveyance, as a means of getting between 2 points. The steering, as I say, is never going to be as precise as a car, but you know what? When you think of the size of the lift and the tyres you've got on this thing, it's actually, it goes where you point it. And if you put your foot down...
That's stupid, isn't it? That's the noise!
I love this thing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our ramblings on this car. It's probably not the most technically competent review of G500 4x4 squared, because we just had too much fun enjoying it. But if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, do like, subscribe, smash that button, ring that bell, and we'll see you for more next time.